I also like to read the technology books too. About the book, honestly, I prefer the physical book because I can't concentrate with the digital book. Have more so within the browser with other tabs open. Unfortunately, I get scared for me. And you?
Okay. Well, about me? Oh my God. Well, my dogs destroy anything. I don't know. Okay. Sorry. Uh, my name is Sabrina. I'm 35 years old. I live in Magé, Rio de Janeiro. Uh, I'm a husband. Sorry, gente. Desculpa. I need to see what's happening here. Leticia, can you introduce yourself? Sorry, people. I need you 1 minute. Sorry.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. I don't know if it's me or other Leticia. Okay, but okay, I can start.
Really?
My name is Leticia. I'm living in Porto Alegre. I work as a software developer, only backend too. About the reading, okay. I read the physical books and the digital books. If I read the digital books, I prefer read on the Kindle. I think the brightness of the screen it's better. And when I read in the computer, I prefer read a short text or short articles because stay a long way reading the in front of the computer. I think it's not so good. I have a plugins with to create the other color in the background, but it's not the same when you read. And I think the physical book now, the problem because it depends on the books. You you can't you can't hire the leather and and the the Kindle, it's a good feature about this. And the physical book, no. I have a sci-fi physical books here in my house, and I didn't finish because, oh my God, I need the loop to read it because I don't know, when I was a younger, probably I read more. Now, no. And you, Sabrina?
I understand you. Oh my God. Well, sorry, people. I'm returned. Well, my name is Sabrina. I'm 35 years old. I'm living in Magé, Rio de Janeiro. I'm married. I'm living with my husband and my stepdaughter. I have so many pets. I have 7 dogs and 10 cats. And I'm a software developer, C# developer too, like Lucas. I'm about the books. It's so hard to talk about this because I'm always read so much, but in the last years, because I have burnout, I have uh, anxiety. So I can't read this. This is so difficult for me, so hard for me because I have I don't have focus for read. I try, but it's so difficult. So I have a Kindle like Leticia, and I love reading the Kindle. But I don't know. I have a real difficult for this, and I in these days I return for physical books. Uh, this year I can read 2 books, I think. It's a big uh oh my god, I don't know, I forgot the word. A big victory for me, because the last years is I read zero zero books. So but 2 books in the paper, a physical book, because I'm really difficult with this. And you, other Leticia. We have 2 Leticias. It's so difficult for me.
So my name is Letícia. I am 19 years old. I live in Barueri, São Paulo. I studied chemistry at university, and in my free time, I like to reading books, to watching series about sports or cooking. And about the book, I think I prefer the physical books because I can focus more, and for me the most productive way to keep my reading habits. I think it's better for me, the physical books.
Sorry, I'm in mute. Today I'm absolutely crazy, but okay. Well, go for the first 2. Um, Leticias, what's your 2 Leticias? What's your last name for me? Difference you, please. I need to make a difference about you too. What the last name?
Change my name here.
What? How you change your name? Oh my god. Okay. Uh, okay, Letícia Lisboa. Okay, perfectly. I make a difference now. Thank you. Well, Letícia Lisboa, how has the digital era changed the way you discover and access new reading materials? And do you use e-readers, audiobooks, or online platforms to read?
I was a younger, I read more, okay? I read more, and I went in the library, I choose the physical books, and I read every day before I'm going to bed, okay? But now I don't this. Um, Now I discover in the internet new books. Sometimes I discover books about the science and the or how the in general about the technology, not specific technical books, but other people talk about the technology and how technology influence our lives or connecting the other in the other parts of our lives, okay? And the e-readers, I use the Kindle. About the online platforms, a few months ago, I read more technical books on O'Reilly, I don't know, because I paid in the past, but now I'm not working, I'm not paying anymore.
Yeah.
And okay, audiobooks in general, I don't prefer because I don't know. I think if I listen, I need to pay attention. And normally, if you listen a podcast, for example, it's like audiobooks, you do other things and you don't pay attention. Okay, and I prefer read because sometimes I read the same paragraph again. I know this is part of my how can I don't know how can I explain in English, but it's part of my bus. And and I need more pay attention about this. And that's it.
Perfectly. And you, Lucas?
For me, currently, although I don't use it much, I use the Kindle to read sometimes and looking for books on each one. I think it's a good alternative, but recently I have found books on Telegram about the subject has interest in C sharp, clean architecture. I interesting.
So good. And you just use in one moment audiobooks or some this kind of books.
Honestly, I never use the audiobooks.
So try it. This is interesting. Just for no but for meat, because this is interesting. Not so perfectly, but it is interesting.
Good.
And you, Letícia, fumês ou fumes?
Fumes.
Fumes.
So I think that in the digital era is easier to find reading materials, because sometimes, for example, I want to read something, but I don't want to buy the book, so I search for it on internet, and it's easier. And about the second question, I don't use e-readers. I think that I am the only person in the world that I don't have Kindle, because I really don't like to read in this way. And about audiobooks, I never tried this, but I think I would like. And on platforms, I don't know. I only reading the text on websites, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, people. About me, I don't know. I'm in a Telegram group about books, general books. So I receive all day so many messages, because so many messages, so several messages about uh, books in release. About anything topics, include topics then I don't want, but I read the synopsis there, because they publish the name of book, synopsis, and link for Amazon. So I read the synopsis and choose, oh, I want read this book. I don't buy in this moment, because I don't buy in a impulse. So I make notes for other moments. I have a Kindle, but I don't really use it in this moment. I think this is in my wallet here, but I use Kindle. I use my cell phone for it too. I have a app. Then I love it, named e-prestige. I love it then for read. And I love the audiobooks. I don't love it, but I use it. I read. I don't know if I read a book. I don't know, but because I listed a book, all collection of Suckstack House. They based it to series True Blood. That are the books. I think are 13 books. I think I read the collection, go and return it to my job in the past, but I I like the experience, because I'm in the bus and I just listen. I don't need to read. I don't have other thing for to do, so I'm listen and relax. I think this is interesting. In general, when we are making other things, we really don't like because we need to pay attention. So I like the audiobooks and online platforms. I don't know. I think don't. I don't use the other. I have a platform because the Claro. I have a service the Claro put for me. Named is Kilo. Uh, I think interesting, but I don't use it really. I I start to use but stop it. Never remember. So, but interesting. Another platform for this. Uh, Leticia Fumes. Do you think traditional libraries or bookstores will remain relevant in the digital age? You have just 19 years old, you a baby, but you go to the library.
I will. And I think they will remain relevant because the experience is different. It's
Absolutely. Yeah.
very interesting to go in a library and search for books and discovery. And obviously the sales have fallen because I think one of the major problems is that in a lot of situations the digital books is cheaper than the physical books, and it's complicated, but I hope they will remain relevant, and I think that's it.
I think like you. And you, Lucas, what do you think about this?
Mm, complicated. I don't think it will cease to exist, but over the years, it has been losing a lot of space. I think that's a new price policy could be positive for this sector because it has been losing a lot to digital format. Um for example, which has more affordable prices. For example, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. And you, Letícia Lisboa, what do you think about this?
Uh, I think it's a, how can I explain this? Uh, I think it's irrelevant, okay? If you think, I'm found now, Kindle is I remember in the first time, it's a revolution. Uh, I don't know how to explain. Paper books don't disappear, and Kindle has 15 years, okay? And
Yeah.
they have a lot of people prefer physical books, and I know some people like to use the book to study, to improve herself, they self in general, and use the books to mark, create annotation, and prefer the paper books compared to the Kindle books, because I know there is a difference when you flip the pages, okay, and the price it's totally different. And if you think in Brazil, for example, libraries like I forgot the name, Livraria Cultura, and the others similar, create a similar e-reads, but it's not too famous like Kindle. And the Amazon don't have a physical store in Brazil, and I think in any parts of our country, in the world, and And I think there is two kinds of the people, like read the physical, and the others prefer the digital books.
Yeah, I think like you perfectly, because I have I'm afraid with uh losing the libraries or bookstores, because buying in a bookstore is an experience. Like Leticia said, we can go for the shelves and look the books, look the forgot the, not cape, I don't know, the first page. Okay, look the first page and, oh, this is a good book, I don't know, read the synopsis in the back. I think this is an experience. And go for the library, I don't know, I go in a library have 30 years. I don't know. I don't know, because I remember that the last moment, and I I know, goes in a went in a library. I don't know. I have I have no. I don't know. I was in a 10 years, I think. Make a school work. So, but I loved physical book. I think for market, for me is better the physical book. I I make marks perfectly in a Kindle, but for uh, improve a topic or other things, I prefer physical for this. I will study, I prefer mark physical for marking my mind. I prefer. So I really want we have bookstores and libraries for the future. I prefer we have, but I don't know. Uh, well, Lucas again. Have you not see? Oh, sorry. Have you not? Oh, have you noticed any differences in your reading experience in between physical books or digital reading?
For me, in the physical book, I can concentrate better. In digital format, I can't concentrate very well for me. Unfortunately, but I try to improve.
I understand you. Me too. And you, Letícia Fumes?
Yes, I have, because as you said, I like to marking on the physical book, making highlights on the pages, and I can keep my focus on the reading, and when I stay a lot of time in front of a screen, I don't know, it's comfortable. And I think that is the big difference, because in physical books, I can involve it more with with that. So yeah.
When we read in a physical book, we have smell experience, uh, touch experience. We have more experiences. I think because that we prefer in general. I think is that. And you,
Really.
Letícia?
In my opinion, there is difference. And for example, I prefer reading on the Kindle or physical books. In the computer, it's a short, okay? Because if I need to study or read some concentration, computer it's better. It's the worst part, and the reading the cellular it's not so good too. But the difference for me, for example, I bought books. There are more 500 pages on the Kindle, and I books short in physical. Okay, and there is a lot of difference because the size and the weight, okay, and the letters, and in the, for example, the Kindle creates for me some anxious sometimes because, oh my god, I live in close to airport, okay, and sometimes the wind it's close in my house, in my house, okay. The Kindle creates the sensation because there is AI in the Kindle, how many time to read in the specific chapter, for example, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. And I turn off this because it's creating more anxious when I see this. Oh,
I agree with you. Okay. Oh, I need to read more speed, more speed. Why? I understand you. I live in this too. The difference for me is because my need to focus in the physical book is better, my focus. But in Kindle, I have one problem for reading Kindle. I forgot, really. I forgot putting in the battery to charge, and always I want read the book. I don't have battery. I think, oh, what I make? I catch a book and read in a physical book because the battery of Kindle have a big duration, but I don't read it all day, so I forgot.
you need to put your Kindle in the same place where your physical book. You see the
Yeah.
Kindle every day.
Yeah, you have a good point. I think about that. You have a good point. Oh my god. I mispose me. Leticia Fumes, how do you filter and select the content you read online to ensure quality or relevance, or what you think? Just not online. How do you select the content? Okay.
So I try to read, of course, about subjects that I like. And one thing that I use it to do is I am, I don't know, on Instagram, for example, and I see, I don't know how can I say English, but o trecho from some book, and if I like it, I will search for the book and read it and try to find that trecho in the history and try to understand this. And it's interesting. I can find good books in this way, and of course, it sometimes is impossible to avoid to reading terrible things on internet mainly, but sometimes at the same time the algorithms can help us to send contents that we like, and yes.
And you, Lucas?
For me, I don't use a specific filter, but today I like to read the technology books about C Sharp, clean architecture, and data structure, especially from O'Reilly Published. For me, my favorite publisher.
You know Casa do Código?
I know. Casa do Código by Alura, correct?
Yeah, in these days, yeah. Before don't, but in these days, yeah. But when the Casa do Código was born, don't have this connection with Alura, but in these days, yeah. I like the books of them because have good books. Don't so technical, but with a good good way to put the subject. So interesting. More it's so difficult to touch this talk this in English, but the books of them is more a book, like a history, not history, but a story book, literature book, with if then a strict technical book. I think this kind of book is interesting too. And you, Leticia, what you think about this? Or where you select your filter content?
Okay. When I see a book and sometimes the first page pay my attention, I put in the favorites, and the Kindle. I can get the simple parts. It's it's the first chapter and the preface. Okay, and I select about the author. Sometimes I read. Sometimes no. I read about the author and the who is the people, and how the subject the books, and it depends the books I read. The I get the simple and I read this, and I decide if I bought the books physical or online, for example. And because depends the subject, I prefer the online. It's cheaper and it's less because read this book. Oh my god!
I do this like you. But one thing I use the first chapter to to read this and think about the book, and I read the opinion of people in the Amazon, because if the book is really no, the book is have so many opinions. So I read the opinions and I try read the worst opinion and the better opinion, and I try understand what the people search in a book, because I don't know, Leticia can be a worst opinion about one book and I love the book. So I try put my opinion in this way and think about the book and try read, because sometimes I want books more complex and so difficult, so a big literature. Okay, sometimes I just want to read a little romance and epic romance or a fantasy romance just for pastime. So I choose the book so with different methods, because I read sociology and I read romances. So I I try make this difference and search the contents in this way. Well, we can choose the question. I don't know. I think we can talk about this, but we just talk. But I think we can put other opinions. Uh, Letícia, Lisboa, has the digital age affected your ability to focus on long form reading due to digital distraction like social media and smartphones?
I totally agree with this. uh, if you think People don't do one thing in one time. People do anything. People use your cell phone and social media when watch TV. If people read in front of the computer or in the cell phone, people see the WhatsApp and the other things. I think it's oh my God, the airport is it's so large today. Okay, I think the social media and the habit you create in the society in general to see all the time the posts and create the sensation you need to receive more and more information, distract people in many things in our lives, but not just specifically reading.
And you, Lucas, what you think about?
Yes, I was affected by this. Today I have a lot of difficulty to studying for 1 hour straight, for example. And try to come up with plans to improve all this. For example, recently I stopped to study with a book on data structure. I managed to concentrate it for 3 hours, but never social media. That's it for me.
And you, Letícia 2. Sorry. So many Leticias.
So I agree. Yes, I think that effective because social media platform was made to draw our attention. So it's difficult to deal. But when I'm going to reading, I keep a security distance of my
In
cell
the
phone.
other room.
And because if I want to understand the book, really understand, I keep this distance of my cell phone, but it's difficult nowadays. It's a hard problem.
And I don't know. I think one thing. Uh, we are so in there this habit to roll the feed. Our mind is I forgot the word. Our mind is so acostumada. I forgot. Use it uh, to to receive recompensation all time. When we are read, we don't receive this compensation so easy. We receive a compensation, a apex on a chapter on the end, in the end of the chapter, in the end of the, so because that I think we have more difficulty to read because uh our mind thinking, oh, this is so boring, because we are so used to receive all stimulus. I don't know if it exists, okay? But you understand. I think this is a bad thing too. Talk, Lucas.
No, it's true.
Well, people. Oh, this is a good question. Who make this question is a good person. Uh, I don't know if can I start. Oh my God, Letícia Fumes again. How do you think digital advancements have influenced the way authors and publishers create and distribute their works?
So I don't know. I think it's a challenge for them because they need to make the creations available in other ways. But at the same time, I think that this situation can help them to understand what people want to read. And I don't know, better direct our books and keep in contact with our public. I don't know. I think things like this.
So good. And you, Lucas, what you think about the worker of authors and publishers to create and to distribute their works?
Yeah, for me, I believe that there it is interference in the format of the texts. I've been that today they seek to bring more direct information. Personally, because of the difficulty the people to concentrate it, for example. For me, format of the texts.
It's a good point. I never think about. So interesting. And you, Letícia Lisboa, what you think?
I think the advantages it's to distribute more faster comparing the physical books, for example, because you need to impress and distributing a physical book in different parts, okay? And I think there is other 2 points I see. For example, the Amazon, there a service when other people create a short histories and create a digital books, for example. It's not a specific a bigger or famous author. Other people create and publish or put a free your digital books. And I think there are a lot of people create a short histories and they create a short books. And for example, a technical books already, for example, they create the specific platform and they create the early bird. I don't know, the early parts of the books, for example, the first part. It's not the first part, the first edition of the book. Before you compose the specific edition, and it's possible to collect information, collect the opinions about the other people's assigning this platform, and improve the early bird books and create more technical or correct some subjects.
You think about two things that I think about the work in a collective. In the past, I was invited to help in a collective book about APIs, but I don't have time and I don't have knowledge necessary. Really, the people invite me, but absolutely crazy because I don't have the knowledge. But it's so good because you can use so many applications for work in collaborative way to create a technical book. What each people create one article or one chapter about the topic. This is so good because we can use the platforms and the technology to create a book more complex because we have different opinions about the topic. I think this is a good way to create And uh, I know when people then sell book in Amazon. Uh, I tried. I'm searching books in Amazon. I found and I read one collection with from a Brazilian, and I read and I search this person in Facebook, and I'm I'm become a friend of her, and I make the synopsis and opinions. I don't know the word. I make the revision about the last book of her, uh, because this is a good way. The Amazon have a really good platform to create and publish books. If you can, if you know how to use how use, you can publish one book in 2-3 days if you have the text. Okay, what the time you waste to create the text is impossible contabilizing in this. But I think this is a good way to turn the creation of books more universalized. I think this is a good way. So Leticia talk about the two things what I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a good way, and we can create so many kinds of books in the Amazon with this. I think this is interesting. I think about using this, but I don't have time to I don't neither concentration to write a book. I have ideas, but
One point, anyone can create an book and sell in on the platform.
yeah, you can
Good.
choose your price and put in there, and you can put you can create promotions, and at sometimes you put in for this price, other time you can put in free for make a promotion. It's so interesting. The platform is so interesting, really. People, I'm so glad with this conversation. I'm sending for you in this chat the link for survey. I really ask for your opinion about the topic, about the conversation, the methodology, about what you want to talk. Can write in Portuguese, in English, what you want, but put your opinion. Don't just put the number. Put your opinion. Okay, people. Thank you for conversation. I'm here next Wednesday. I want, if you want here, I want here you. Okay. Thank you for this, people. Good night for you, and have a good night.